Welcome to the Healthy Home Show. I'm your host, Fernanda Furman, Healthy Home Architect.
Hi, I'm Eric Furman, Healthy Home Contractor.
And today we're here with David Brooke. We're so happy to have you joining us for this show, David. Thank you for taking the time. And he developed his own line of skincare. And we're going to go into details. Why do we think that's important to include in this show that's all about homes, right? So Eric is going to read his biography, and then we're going to explain to you guys why.
All right, so welcome to the show, David. So David is an international model who has worked for many high-profile designers such as Giorgio Armani, Guess by Marciano, Calvin Klein, and Hugo Boss. Due to the various climate changes and endless amounts of products applied to his skin on any given day, David struggled for many years to find the best product line that could help him maintain the healthy, even skin complexion demanded by the fast-paced fashion industry. After unsuccessfully trying numerous skincare products, David was referred to Skin Essence Organics by a well-respected industry professional and instantly noticed amazing improvements in his skin's texture and overall appearance. After successfully using Skin Essence for nearly 9 years, David obtained a degree in business and has become a partner in the company. His passion for organics, dedication to chemical-free living, and valuable industry insight has been a driving force, propelling Skin Essence to become an industry leader of superior organic products. So welcome to the show.
Wow. Yeah, that makes me blush a little bit, but yeah, no, thank you for that, guys. I'm excited to be a part of this. And I think that this topic is a really important topic, and a topic that'll really, hopefully, bring some different perspectives and some great thoughts to your listeners and your followers, to help them really understand how important this personal care industry is when it comes to making healthy choices, for sure. So. Yeah.
So one of the reasons, why are we bringing a skincare brand into a Healthy Home Show? So one of the biggest parts in our room, in our house, is the bathroom, right? We have been talking about the bedroom and how we need that place so you can rest, and all the products that we put inside of the bedroom. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the bathroom and all the routines that we have. And one of the routines is our skin care, that routine that we do daily. And a lot of the products out there, one of the things I love about your brand, David, is that it's all organic. And for a lot of people, they don't understand the difference in between organic and why we need to have organic. But the way our bodies are being exposed to toxins today in so many levels, from so many different ways, especially hidden toxins. It's so important for us to make sure that we reduce as much as possible our exposure, that coming from hair products, skin, nails, perfumes, and everything else that we are exposed to today more than 30 years ago. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, would you please start it by telling us what's inspired you to, from your background, I would never expect you to become, a leader and create your own skin line. So what inspired you?
Right. So I guess like the introduction mentioned, I started in the modeling and acting industry. And to be honest, I didn't really want to get into that industry. That was never my path. I was going off to university, and that was my projection in life. But I ended up getting scouted. I got pulled into the industry. Long story short, my skin was not that great. And I had many of my agents telling me, you have a lot more potential, but in order to see that potential, you got to look healthier. You got to look better. And I felt really confused by that, because I didn't really know what a moisturizer was. I started at 17 years old, right? Like moisturizer, exfoliant, cleanser just seemed overwhelming, right? But yeah, so through the industry, I got introduced to this amazing product line, and it completely changed my skin to the point where I was like, how does this work so well? And I started really diving deep into looking at the ingredients and how it's made and how it's packaged. And it totally makes sense, because if you think about it, if you want, and like you were saying, a lot of your viewers probably are trying to figure out, conventional skincare, organic skincare, really what's better, because at the end of the day, you want stuff that's going to be healthy and safe for you, but you also want stuff that's going to get results. And the great thing is, organic skincare, I can tell you from my own personal experience and thousands of others that I've interacted with over the last, 11 years now, being a partner in the line, organic is the way to go, because think about this concept, right? We all have to eat.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to really be healthy, you're going to eat a salad, right? Fruits, vegetables, lean meats. You're going to eat real food. If you want to be full, you could eat a bag of chips. If you want to be full and healthy, you would eat a salad. So if you use that kind of concept with skincare, there's a lot of products out there that are going to offer your skin moisture and hydration, but not a lot that are really going to nourish and hydrate your skin, because you need to give your skin vitamins, minerals, enzymes, tools, if you will, to actually help it to be healthier and to heal itself better and to look more balanced. The issue is the skincare industry. I mean, I could go on about this topic for honestly hours, but the skincare industry, their main focus is how can we make a product for as cheap as possible and sell it for as much as possible, and it's a money thing. Whereas with us, with Skin Essence Organics, the focus has always been how can we make the highest quality product possible, the cleanest, most chemical-free, safest product that's also going to give the best results and make it affordable. That's why, I mean, if you check on our website, a lot of times when people hear about our line, they're like, oh, it must be expensive. It's bottled in glass. It's no water. It's all certified organic. The most expensive product is $35. The cheapest thing's $18. So we compete on quality and pricing. But, you know, for me, like I was mentioning, when I got introduced to the line, it changed my skin so much that I started really questioning things. And I started thinking, like, if my skin can look so much better after using an organic product, how would my body be if I started eating organically and eating healthier? You know what I mean? It's the old saying, you are what you eat. Our parents, our grandparents used to say that to us, but it's true. If you eat garbage, you're going to feel like garbage, and your skin's probably going to look like garbage, right? You need to give your skin and your body the nutrition it needs to really look its best, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, once again, to kind of tie this all in, why are we having you here is one of our early speakers, Dr. Pizzorno, talks about, he says, potions and lotions. And your skin, we can talk more about this, you being the expert, is one of the largest organs in your body. You're absorbing all of these potential toxins in through your skin. And so what are some of the most common toxic ingredients in the conventional skincare products that you saw, and then what kind of gravitated you towards the line?
Yeah, I mean, now that's a great question. So yes, you're right. Your skin is your largest organ, and statistically, it absorbs about 60 to 80% of what you put on it. So you really want to be mindful of, like, what I'm putting on my body is going in my body. I would ask myself, would I put that in my mouth? And if the answer, a lot of times I with our cleansers, I'll get people like, hey, try our cleanser out and taste it. It tastes really good. And they're like, taste it? They start laughing at me. They're like, no way. I'm like, of course, because you've always thought you can't. But if you really retract and think, shouldn't you be able to? Because your body absorbs 68% of what you put on it, right? And chemicals penetrate the skin faster than anything. The skincare industry, in a nutshell, uses chemicals not only because they're less expensive and they can be man-made, so you can mass produce, but they also help to preserve a product. They work as cheap fillers. So here's the thing, like, there's so many directions I could take that question, right? But the number one thing I would say is read the ingredients to the personal care products that you use. Just like you do with your food. If you want to be healthy, you got to choose healthy stuff. Good health does not happen by accident. It happens by making good, healthy choices, right? So with your skincare, you want to look at, actually, here's a great example. The best thing for a plant in nature, if you want to grow a healthy plant, there's 3 things that you need. So hopefully with the audience, you're trying to think about what those might be. Number 1 is sunlight, right? You need sunlight. You need oxygen, you need air. And of course, yeah, I just saw you say that, Fernanda. Yeah, water. You need water. 3 things. The interesting point is, as soon as you extract the oil from the plant, the worst thing for the oil is sunlight, water, and air.
Wow.
Therefore, when you think of organic, a lot of times people think, well, how can it be organic and not have preservatives? It's because companies want to use cheaper quality plant oils. They then want to dilute it with about 50, 60, maybe 70% water, right? Because you make more money and you go through it quicker. The problem is water makes things go rancid. So at Skin Essence, we don't use water at all. It's a cheap filler. If you want to mix water with your cleanser, with your moisturizer to kind of dilute it down or play with the consistency, you do that on the palm of your hand just before applying it, right? We don't want to just fill your bottle full of water. We want to fill it full of, pack it full of plant ingredients that are going to offer your skin the benefits it needs, right? Oxygen, plastic packaging. Companies use plastic packaging because it's cheaper to buy, it's lighter weight, so it's cheaper to ship. The problem is when you squeeze a plastic bottle and let it go, and squeeze it, let it go, it contracts and expands. That allows oxygen in and out of a product. So that, again, is going to diminish your shelf life. Another thing, too, you'll see with our bottles, actually, maybe I'll hold one up here. You can actually see in the picture behind me. See the UV amber glass? You can see right through it? That's UV amber glass. It protects the ingredients from UV light. Because that's the thing is, it's not just about the ingredients that are in the package. It's how is it extracted? Is it cold pressed? Ours are. Is it unrefined, meaning no refining? A lot of companies will refine the plant oils because they want to make them smell the exact same every single time. Because then customers feel comfortable with the fact that it always looks and smells the exact same way. But the truth is your garden looks and smells different throughout the year. You know what I mean? It changes. So it's normal. It's okay to have slight variations. If certain plant oils, you know, or certain flower oils have stronger smells in certain times of the year, you'll notice that with our products. The hydration, the benefit will remain the same, but the smell and overall, you know, just scent that will come from it can slightly change. And that's great. It goes to show how pure and natural it is. So what I would say to keep it easy is if you can't understand the word, at least Google it. If you can't understand it, be cautious. When you read the ingredients, look to see if the first ingredient's water. If it's water, I would say save your money because the companies are obviously using lots of water. Then you have to use preservatives. So you know right off the bat, you're going to be having chemicals in your product, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is like so good, so good. Yeah. And even when you think you know a lot, there's always something else to learn. So you talked about so many things that I just want to point it out. Like I see a lot of people counting calories, right? You look at the box and you count calories. Now, how many people are counting chemicals and are looking at the ingredients for, you know, their toxicity? I don't see like a lot of the people that are counting calories are not counting the chemical ingredients or the toxicity. Right. The other thing you talked about, water, right? One of our business is water filtration system. So we know how nasty and all the things that are coming in our water, let's say pesticides. So even if you are selling an organic brand, right, and your water, it's not filtered correctly, you're still getting pesticide, pharmaceutical waste in your water, depending where you are. Yep. So that's another point. And for the people that, like a friend of mine said, oh, it doesn't matter if it's white or brown. This is just marketing stuff. Well, go look at the breweries. Why do they sell beers with a darker bottle? Exactly, yeah, because you said the sunlight, it changes how the product works. So yeah, I am so glad that you're talking about this. And one of the things that you talked to me off, you know, like when we were on the phone, was about mold. And if you could, you know, explain a little bit about mold in the products, I would appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. And one other thing too, just a quick side addition. I know that if I was listening to this and this was new to me and I was someone that was, you know, listening into your show because I'm trying to make better choices for myself and for my family, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like, wow, like, you know, I can't buy personal care products now. Like, but the thing is here, it's not as overwhelming as what you think. If you don't put it in your shopping cart, it doesn't come to your home. If it's not in your home, it's not in your fridge. If it's not in your fridge, it's not in your mouth. We cannot control everything in life. You cannot control the air you breathe, but you can control what you eat and what you put on your skin. And it's just a matter of taking that control. It becomes very easy when you take the time to read ingredients and be a savvy consumer. So don't feel overwhelmed. For anyone that's listening, it's really not that complicated. It's just making healthy choices. Don't listen to companies that are trying to market anti-aging, age-defying, and all this stuff. But then you look at the ingredients and there's nothing but water and chemicals and preservatives. How is that really age-defying, right? It's like if someone says to you, this is the healthiest meal, you're naturally, if someone says this is the best skincare product, you're gonna say, okay, sounds great, and maybe people buy it. But with food, they would say, well, what is it? They would ask more because it's going in them, but this is too, you know? So really just be mindful of making those healthy choices. You were talking about, so with mold. So when you're talking about
natural products and having a low shelf life, like I was mentioning earlier. Some people seem to think that they don't have a long shelf life. Most of our products are good for multiple years because of the quality of the plant oils, how they're extracted. It's kind of like, and I'm getting into that mold just kind of in an indirect way, but it's like a salad or a stir fry. Same ingredients. If you made a salad tonight and left it on your counter, and a stir fry using the same ingredients, heating it all up, and leaving it on your counter, in the morning, the stir fry is going to kind of smell weird, right? But the salad would probably still be crunchy and somewhat normal, and you would go ahead and eat it. It's because the same ingredients, as soon as you change a natural ingredient from its natural state by heating it up or refining it, you lose the stability, you lose the shelf life, right? Or in that stir fry, you're to put some water, of course, or water on bread, for example, a loaf of bread sitting on your counter. It's going to go stale. It's not going to go moldy, but if you get moisture on it or humidity on it, it does. So when it comes to mold with our products, because we use special pumps that keep the oxygen all out, we don't use water. Water is what causes mold and rancidity. With our products, if anything, over time, the nutritional value can slowly deteriorate, but because of the quality that we're using, the quality packaging, and the variety of essential oils that we're using as well that have great benefit, as well as naturally preserving the product, most of our stuff is good for some even over 5 years. So.
Wow. Just to kind of hone in on the mold and really tie this into the listeners and why they're here and what they can get from this is there's a lot of mold avoiders and mold sensitive people that are going to be listening. So yeah, just imagine your body's absorbing this, as you mentioned, and then you've got in a bottle potentially mold that you're just basically applying to your skin throughout the day. That kind of sounds like what could be potentially happening with a lesser product or something full of water.
Especially with a warm shower, you open up your pores.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think too, like another thing as well, when people are thinking about like conventional skincare, which is what you typically find in most of your, let's say, drugstores and department stores throughout the United States and Canada and really the world for that matter. And comparing it to organic and wondering which one, like why would one be better or more beneficial than the other? What you really just want to think about is like I mentioned, the ingredients and the components that are in it, really looking at nutritional value. And if you think of it kind of like, I guess I'll make an analogy here for, cause it's more of a home show, right? So if you have a plumbing situation, right? And you call a plumber and you say, I'm making this up as I go, but you say, okay, I need you to come, but it's going to tie into a point that I really want to make. I want you to come to my house. I want you to fix my toilet. Like we'll call him Gary. Okay. So when Gary gets there, you stop him at the door and you say, leave your toolbox there and come and fix my toilet. He's gonna be like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. And he might be able to fix a couple things, tweak a couple things, but he might not be able to fix the whole problem. But if you say, okay, Gary, now you can have your toolbox, go ahead and fix my plumbing issue. He's gonna fix any plumbing issue that's out there. Same thing with the skin, right? If you give your skin, if you're having issues with rosacea or with acne or with fine lines, just any sort of sensitivity like eczema, for example, if you don't give your skin the tools, your skin naturally, as we get older, it heals itself at a less rate. It has less ability. Therefore, the tools become even more relevant, right? Your skin needs things like vitamin C to help stimulate collagen production, vitamin E to help heal skin tissue and protect it from free radicals, beta carotene to help brighten the complexion of the skin, right? So really, I would say think of our products as like the toolbox, right? If you had, let's say, an acne scar or some sort of sun damage or skin damage on your skin, odds are good that your skin may naturally try to heal itself over time, hopefully at a slow pace. But if you give it the tools it needs, it's going to be able to do a much better job for you at a much faster pace. And that's really what we're all about. We're not just about moisturizing the skin. We're about giving it the tools and the nutrition that it needs, and then also staying away from chemicals, because obviously we're all very aware, and every single person listening to the show has been affected by some serious illnesses in their family, including cancer. It's a very sensitive word for all of us. These sorts of health crisis is not a coincidence. If you really look at our food that we're eating, the air that we're breathing, and the chemicals that we're getting from our personal care products and from other, components that might be found throughout the home, it's not a coincidence that so many of us are affected by so many serious illnesses. And that's the thing, is you cannot avoid everything. Don't feel overwhelmed, but take control of what you can control, because you're going to pay for good health now in good products, or you're going to pay for bad health later. But at some point, you're paying for it.
Absolutely.
You know?
I love this.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, very well put, because
You like the plumbing thing? I like the plumbing analogy.
Yeah,
I love analogy. It's
actually on the spot, right?
Yes.
You created that on the spot. That was good.
There you go.
So one of the things that our people don't think about, and it took me a long time to understand, is synthetic products that they put on the, on the inside of the products that we use. So for example, even laundry detergent, skincare, body lotions, and all those synthetic chemicals that they're putting there, how they're actually affecting our hormones, especially women, right? How
Big
they're
time.
changing our hormones and creating diseases that are probably, preventable. And I'm not a doctor. We're not here to give anybody, an advice on medical, but
Sure.
statistics are out there. We all talk to each other, that we, as you said, like, it's not a coincidence what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about it, about the synthetic, ingredients that they're using?
Yeah. So, I mean, can I talk a little bit? I mean, I could talk a lot about this topic, but so for example, there was a study done by the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration in the United States of America. 1,029 people were tested for phthalates in their blood. And a phthalate is a hormone disruptor. So when phthalates are absorbed into the bloodstream through chemicals, they can really disrupt your hormones dramatically. A lot of people, you're probably even very well aware of, maybe people in your family or your family and friends that are trying to get pregnant and can't get pregnant. And it's not just for the woman. It could also be the man that's having the challenge, right? Yeah. If you were to completely try to clean your personal care products up and clean your diet up, I'd be willing to bet that a lot of people that are having issues with reproductive issues and just hormone issues in general would really be able to rectify it through healthy diet and through a healthy skin diet. Right? The chemicals, so one thing too, just on a quick side note, because a lot of people might be like, well, why are all these chemicals? And a lot of people presume that they audit it and they take care of the industry and thinking they might be the government, or they don't even know who they might be, right? Here's the thing. The food industry is regulated by the FDA in the US and Health Canada in Canada, for example, right? So food definitely has to go through a certain audit process. So that doesn't mean that it's all healthy and it's safe for you. It just means that there is a little bit of control. The skincare industry is actually self-regulated. So that's a big warning to a lot of people. So it's really regulated by the industry itself. There's well over 10,000 chemicals that are used in personal care products that have been grandfathered in after the Second World War. So there was a lot, like for example, BHT, right, was used in the war. Now they use it to preserve meat, to preserve a variety of personal care products as well, and it's a known carcinogen, right? A lot of these ingredients were grandfathered in, and there's no one that's taking them out. So any new chemical that comes, a company, if we were to create a chemical, for example, which obviously we wouldn't do, but if we were to create a chemical, we can't just put it in personal care products now. You would have to go through a process. But all of the much more than 10,000 chemicals that have been available since the end of the Second World War have been grandfathered in. Now, some of them are being pulled out slowly, but not really, because no government either A, wants to take time, or B, wants to say, hey guys, I know we're dealing with so many other health issues and concerns around the world, but we've kind of failed you. We've allowed these personal care products that are causing health epidemics, with cancers and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, just depression, and just where people's bodies are not healthy and not functioning well. We've done this for so many years. Like no one wants to get up on the podium and do that, right? Mm-hmm. The thing with it is you have to, as a consumer, make the healthier choices and read the ingredients. So for example, here's an example. In the European Union, all countries in the European Union, right? Sodium lauryl sulfate. Write that down if you're listening. Sodium lauryl sulfate. It's used in like shampoos, for example, to make them bubbly and soapy, or in face washes. And people think like, oh, this is a good face wash because it soaps up, and they look in the mirror and they look like Santa Claus, right? Like you've got like the foam everywhere. That's not good. That dries out your skin. And sodium lauryl sulfate penetrates the skin at an extremely fast rate, not only causing dehydration and fine lines, and can cause things like rosacea down the road, just from overall wear and tear and damage, right? But it's also a known carcinogen. And it's actually been flagged by Health Canada as a very serious human health concern, but still there's no regulation around it. So the interesting point is Europe has banned it. You cannot sell a product in Europe using that ingredient, but in US and Canada, you can. So it goes to show that like countries are recognizing this and taking that really strong stance, but then there's a lot of countries that aren't necessarily standing up to it. And the point I'm trying to make is that the ingredients that are being used are directly linked to many health concerns. And it's not to say if you got cancer, it's because of this, but I would say reduce your exposure to anything that could be of risk to you and your family because it's unnecessary, right? And you're empowering companies. If you buy it, they will make it, you know, and obviously people are. And that's another reason why we've decided as a company to be not only high quality, but also affordable. Because we want people to not feel like, well, the only thing I can afford is the stuff that's unsafe. You know, it's interesting. Here's another little analogy as well, like, or just a thought, you know, is you meet a lot of people that you might be like, well, why don't you eat healthier? Well, I don't really have the budget for it. You know, I don't really use good quality products. I can only afford a $10 moisturizer. Okay. But did you buy an $80 t-shirt at the mall because you wanted to look good last week? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, if you really want to look good, wouldn't you fill your fridge full of healthy food and fill your face full of healthy products and then wear a $2 shirt, a hand-me-down? Because if you're not healthy, I don't care what you're wearing. You don't look healthy because you're not healthy. You don't look great. You want to look great? Take care of yourself first. People get stuff backwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you know, like, so just to let you know, and like the audience, some of the people don't know what happened to me, but that it's not that I was trying to be cheap. I didn't have the knowledge. So by not having the knowledge, you pay a price. So, you know, it's not because you don't know, you're not going to feel the effect. So for me, the price of it was not getting my work done. And then by not getting my work done, because I was getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning, exhausted, I felt like I just went to bed at, you know, 5 minutes before. I couldn't work. I couldn't get my work done. So I got stressed. I would stay up late trying to catch up, you know, with the work and everything. So many visits to the doctor, many time off to go to the doctor. A lot of functions for families and friends that I couldn't go because I didn't have the energy. So don't make that direct, you know, relationship with the products you use, but they do, you know, accumulate over time, and they can cause that to happen to people. And that's the price you pay later down the road.
Totally. Yep. Again, good health does not happen by accident. It happens because you make good choices. And it's never too late to make good choices, whether it be weight concerns that you want to rectify or health concerns that you want to change. You know, it's your life. Mm-hmm. You're the one that gets to take control of it. Either you lose control of it or you take control of it, but it's up to you because no one else is going to do it, you know? And for me, I think the main reason why I wanted to come on this show and really participate and support you guys is I believe in what you're doing. I think it's great. But on top of that, I feel like people want to learn about this. People want to be educated. And my hope is that some of the points that I make and some of the information that I share is going to make them kind of just look at things differently, you know? Don't just trust what a label says it's going to do and all these false promises, because again, the industry is self-regulated. They can make certain claims that really the ingredients don't back up, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, thank you. We are absolutely on the same page. And the other thing too about this whole process and bringing this is just yesterday we had a guy on that in another area. We're not perfect. We're always learning things. Thanks for being a beacon of light, really. It's just like people need places to go. They need solid information. And then, like you said, a very simple and affordable way to fix those problems. I think what people don't really understand is it's not just one thing. And as you go through this whole series and as we're learning, there's so many uncovered areas potentially that are really impacting you in a major way that you don't even realize.
Yeah, totally. And that's another reason why we also made our products accessible. Like, not only can it be, which I mentioned to you, we do have a promo code. I don't know if you want to share that at the end of the show, but we definitely have a promo code. Healthy Home, I think, is what we agreed on. Is that correct? Yeah. All one word. If you put it as two, hopefully it'll still work. But Healthy Home It's going to be 20% off our entire product line. So it'll make, you know, the cheapest thing will go down to like $13, the most expensive thing about 25, right? And if your order is over $50, you also get free express shipping. So we're doing that. And I think that's really all of ours as you know, you guys hosting the show, wanting to kind of give your audience an opportunity to make changes and save money in the process. And, you know, our website, just, you know, important to mention, in the US is www.skinessenceorganics.com. And in Canada, it's skinessence.ca. And we've also made ourselves available actually on Amazon as well, just to make it easy for people to have access to better choices. Because a lot of times the excuse is like, oh, I want to, but it's too expensive. In this case, it's not. I want to, but it's really hard to get my hands on it. No, it's not. We really want to be, you know, proactive. And, you know, we've been one of Canada's leading organic skincare lines for almost 24 years now. And we actually just recently, I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but we just got picked up by Whole Foods throughout the United States. So a couple of our products are now available there. So it just goes to show the legitimacy of our line. Like, you know, we're not just an overnight success. We've been around for many years, and we really formulate using, you know, the best ingredients for all skin types, whether it's, you know, dry aging skin or combination aging skin or sensitive skin and rosacea or eczema or acne prone skin. We have different products that are really geared towards helping with those types of concerns that people have, which.
Yeah, so I think it's great. One of the things you're talking about, we have seen in the whole industry, flooring, with textile, with everything, it's greenwashing. So like when you buy, and I have been fooled so many times, and even right now, I'm going to tell you, I bought a whole line. I never had any facial products in my life, never. The first time I had was like 3 months ago that I went to this store that's supposed to be a healthy store. And this lady helped me picking a brand that was supposed to be clean, the cleanest in the market and very nice. All of the products, the first ingredient is water. I was not aware of that. The first thing. I spent over $500 buying the whole line, which it was.
Our entire line, by the way, would be $150 with the discount, just to give you an idea.
See the difference.
And the quality will be night and day, I guarantee it. Anyways, carry on, yes? Yeah.
Yeah, so the greenwashing, when they put like, oh, we don't use this, we don't use that. And I have mentioned a couple of times during the show about a particular brand for, you know, products in the house, like cleaning products in the house and laundry, that they say it's made out of, you know, essential oils. Okay, great. And the front of the box, like it's green, it's beautiful, it has all this branding. I read the back, it says, and synthetic fragrance. Of course. So the front of the box, they can, as you're saying, there's nobody regulating this. And the certifications, a lot of the companies, what I'm learning is that they are creating their own certifications and certifying themselves. Yes, you are very correct. And on that note, we are USDA certified organic. We are also certified by EcoCert International, which is based out of France. It's a cosmetic certification. It's internationally known. I mean, EcoCert is huge. It's actually probably the biggest organic certification worldwide. But for Americans and Canadians, USDA is very relative. So we actually have both of them. And we're cruelty-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, vegan friendly, you know. So it's, yes, you're right. They do make their own certifications. But here's something actually I want to mention. There is a website, and you can Google it. It's EWG, so it stands for Environmental Working Group. Maybe you guys know about it. EWG Skin Deep. So if you Google EWG Skin Deep, you'll land on a database. It's non-for-profit. You cannot pay to be on it. To be honest, most companies don't want to be on it because it calls the kettle black. You know, it calls you for what you are. It's great for a company like ours because it really shows you just how amazing and how clean and pure we are. But if you go to EWG Skin Deep, type in, for example, Skin Essence Organics, you'll see that all of our products have the rating of #1, right? So #1 means that you're super clean. The higher you go up to 10, the dirtier it gets. And the great thing about it is it explains it. So if you're, like, say a product that you're using is a #6, it will show you, like, out of these, let's say 10 ingredients they have in their product, you know, these 3 are #1, so they're not that bad. These 4 are number 4 or #5 on the chart, and we'll explain it's a no carcinogen, it's a hormone disruptor, it's a, you know, it'll
it'll really give you an in-depth understanding of not just how it's rated, but why it's rated the way it's rated. And it will keep things honest and keep things pretty clean. It's great because if there's products you've been using, not to get into names or mention any names, but go on, search it for yourself, and that will help you for sure. For sure. Now, keep in mind too, the thing I like about EWG is that EWG, like I said, it's not a business model, so you can't pay to be on it. There are other apps, some that I'm thinking of right now, that we are on, that we don't have quite the rating that we really should have, but in order to get an in-depth review, there's an annual fee. And we're not going to get into that gimmick because there's some companies that are rated really well by these apps that are, you read the ingredients, they're not that clean, but you can tell that there's a financial arrangement. So I would say EWG is a pretty good, safe spot to go and check out your information and, at least get started, to keep things easy. So.
Yeah, the EWG comes up a lot. Specifically, we haven't really been too into the skin deep part of it or any of the skincare products, but I was wondering, as you're talking about this stuff and the self-regulation happening and all these certifications, have you seen anything else that kind of rivals or compares to the EWG that you could recommend? I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I actually, honestly, I haven't. That's a resource that I like because I find it truthful and honest, and I find it pretty easy to navigate. And I know a lot of people respect it, and like I said, we've never given them a penny. We have their best rating. You can't pay to play. It's just them trying to educate and make consumers healthier, making better choices, right?
Absolutely.
So.
And just for the listeners, the link is going to be down below this interview. We're going to have a link to David's website. We're going to have a link to this amazing gift that he's given to all of us. And even though I already spent $500 in skin products, I'm going to have to buy it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because sometimes people say, I spent so much money, I just want to use it up. Well, if you can't return it, would you really want to use it up? Because if you think about it, it's like, well, I bought all these groceries and now I'm going to go healthy. I'm just going to eat them up. Like, why put them into your body? Like, just start now. You know what I mean? Like, just make healthy choices.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of our speakers said something very, very nice. She said, if you're taking a drug that is making you sick, and the doctor said, this is making you sick, here's another option. Will you just take the whole bottle of that drug just because you paid for it?
No.
Yeah, I think what people don't really understand, and I think they're going to start, and this is really getting ingrained in us, is the cumulative effect. And that's why it's really hard to put unless you put something on your face and you have a breakout.
Rash.
Yeah, rash. It's this cumulative effect of all these different areas, is this bombarding, and it could take years, maybe even decades, to where you really start to see, like, imagine you get some catastrophic disease, and somebody else mentioned something too, like, I can't prove that this caused that, but I can definitely tell you that if they weren't doing that, they wouldn't have got that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it honestly, it's really important, to really make those healthy choices. And, I could go on about this topic for a long, long time, for sure. But another thing too, actually, one thing I just want to mention as well is, for those who are listening that might be like thinking, to be devil's advocate, well, if what Skin Essence is doing is so great, well, then why don't other companies do it? There's a couple reasons. Number one, because we're filled with all plant oils, right? And some people might be like, okay, well, oils on the skin as opposed to a cream. Don't let me forget that point. I'm going to come back to it. But long story short, with our products, not only is it very expensive to make, right? The profit margins for a company are a lot different. You're not making it for 50 cents and selling it for $50, right? It's very expensive ingredients. So someone could say, well, they would just charge more money and spend more money on marketing. Okay, true. The main reason why big companies are not doing what we're doing is because we are 100% at the mercy of nature and the harvest. They want to be able to mass produce and fill every single major department store worldwide. That's not a reality for Skin Essence Organics. We're in about 1,200 locations and growing, but we're never going to be a company that's in every single corner store and department store because we are at the mercy of the harvest. And we're okay with that. We're not accountable to shareholders. We're accountable to humanity and making healthy and safe and fair choices for our customers, when it comes to how we source our ingredients and how we package them. So that's the big difference. If you're making something with water and chemicals and preservatives and maybe a little bit of olive oil so you can say that there's something natural in it because it's abundance oil, sure. But you're never going to be able to mass produce. And another thing too, we do all of our moisturizers are in an oil form. Have you ever used oils on your skin before, guys?
Vitamin E, vitamin C.
So like that kind of oil? Because a lot of people are familiar with creams. Here's the thing. The cheapest way to make a moisturizer is cream. Because creams are made with water, waxes, emulsifiers, and oils. So don't be freaked out about oils. Because some people say, oh, I'm worried about oils clogging my pores. Well, wouldn't you be more worried about a cream clogging your pores? Because it's thicker. Your skin naturally makes oils, not creams. The reason why companies want to make creams, like I said, because it's predominantly water. The problem with a cream is that, Fernanda, you might use the cream in January and love it. And in the summer, it's way too heavy for your face, or vice versa. In the winter, it's not heavy enough. But if you put more on, it starts caking up on your skin. Whereas with an oil, you can use 1 pump or 5 pumps. You can mix it with a bit of water on the palm of your hand before applying. It's customizable. The reason why we use oils is because 100% of our products are packed full of plant oils, no fillers. And you can customize it based on, for example, I might use 3 pumps, you might use 2 pumps or 4 pumps or 5 pumps. There's no right and wrong answer. It's customizable. And again, it comes back to the fact your skin naturally creates oils. If you give your skin oils, it won't try to create more oil. Because it gets pH balance. Your body tries to create what your body needs, right? So if you put a plant oil on your skin, especially the right types of plant oils for the right skin types, right? We'll use, like, for example, geranium extract that's in our light moisturizer for acne and oily prone skin, because geranium naturally helps to control oil production. And the main filler oil is jojoba, which is the closest oil to the natural oils of the skin. Whereas for anti-aging for dry skin, we're using plant oils that have longer chain molecules, so they're heavier, they're richer. Some will go into the skin, some sit more towards the surface of the skin because the skin is dry. So as long as you're tailoring the product properly, formulating it properly to those skin types, your body is going to hydrate it. And you have glands in your skin, in the dermis, the middle layer, called sebaceous glands. And sebaceous glands are the oil-producing glands. Their job, when the skin is dry, is to create oil to hydrate you, right? If you just put a cream on your skin, the glands are still going to feel dry. So they're going to send messages to the brain saying, hey, we're dry down here. We need to create oil. And then you start trying to create oil. The oil can't get out because you got a cream sitting on the surface of your skin, which can clog pores, causing blackheads and so on. But you put an oil on your skin, it goes through the skin right into the dermis, hydrating around the sebaceous glands, the oil producing glands, which get your pH balance so that your glands don't try to create what it doesn't need.
Wow.
So if you have oily prone skin, you should use an oil. If you have dry skin, you should also use an oil, because a cream's just going to sit on the surface. And you might even notice, let's say, being a woman yourself, and this is for men and women, these products, but if you put a cream on your skin, sometimes it gets flaky and dry on the epidermis, right? The surface layer in the winter months. It's because the waxes are drying out on your skin, but oils, you just penetrate right in. And if you feel like you need a little more, just add a little bit more.
Wow,
there's so many avenues of this topic that we could discuss.
I know, more than I actually imagined. Now, you said something that is so true, and I'm very passionate about it. It's about changing habits in every single level, and especially the demand, how you're saying why other companies are not making the same products as you are, because of the demand. People want the perfect apple, the perfect everything available at any time when I go by. It's not strawberry season, but I want strawberry, and I want it big, I want sweet, and I want it beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And I want it to have anytime I want. So if we understand what goes behind all the processing and all what goes behind the company and the mission, and that's what we have been so passionate about the show. It's meeting companies that have a mission, because that will make a difference. And as you said, you guys are not mass producing. So if something is like with the wine, if to make the wine taste all the same, they have to do all this process and put a lot of sugar there. Now, do we need all the sugar? Do we want? Or if we change our habits and our mindset and our needs, hey, you know what? I'm going to eat whatever is in season right now. I don't mind if the wine tastes different once in a while. And I don't mind if my product smells different in August that it smells in January, because I know why.
Yeah.
And knowing the why, it's important right now.
Totally. Can't agree more. I'll buy the apple with the wormhole in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's a real apple.
Yeah.
One of the things that I actually want to express to you, how, like, for us, a whole house water filtration system made a whole difference. So when people are washing their face and putting all those amazing products on their face, if their house don't have a whole house water filtration system, which for us here in California is almost like mandatory to have.
It is important for sure.
You know, what you're doing is you're putting all those chemicals in your face, drying out your skin, and then you put the amazing product, you know, over, and then expecting to be, you know, solving everything. So if you want to have the whole thing, of course, you know, the products are amazing and they will do their job, but you also have to make sure you're using water. Even if you have reverse osmosis, you know, just bring it upstairs and wash your face, but use the right water to, you know, to apply those products.
Totally. Yeah. That's an added bonus for sure. Without a doubt. Yep.
Well, thank you so much, David. It was so, oh my gosh, I learned so much.
Good. Me too. Me too. I always love talking. So
yeah, all this knowledge. And as David said, he has an amazing gift for you guys, 20% of the entire line, which is already, and I can tell you from what I've seen, way less expensive than the other brands that are everywhere in using cutting corners to, you know, with greenwashing and, you know,
absolutely
beautiful labels and amazing marketing and paying to be in front of you in the magazines or in other products, that other apps that you're seeing. So 20% off the entire skin line. And also, if you buy $50, free shipping and
express shipping, which is even quick. So you get it like literally no matter what state you live in or what province you live in, you're getting it in probably 3 to 4 days max, maybe 1 or 2.
Awesome. Wow. So you just have to use the code Healthy Home. And again, this information is going to be down below this video. And again, thank you so much, David. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, David.
Absolutely. My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. And keep up the good work for sure.